This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. Donald Trump was scheduled to have a rally in Iowa this weekend, and it was canceled because of weather. And I tend to believe that excuse. There were tornado warnings that ended up not happening, but you don't know in advance if that's going to happen. So I believe it. I do believe it. But there are members of the Republican Party who don't. Scott Jennings is just a slack-jawed propagandist on CNN. He's a Republican strategist. And he was on with Dana Bash this weekend talking about the cancellation of this event. And he postulates, and he says there's evidence that it's true. I don't know what that evidence would be. But Scott Jennings, loyal Republican, for years, you couldn't twist his arm hard enough to say something bad about Donald Trump. He was a sycophantic lackey for Donald Trump and by extension, the larger Republican Party. But he is claiming that Donald Trump canceled the event as to not be embarrassed of the size of his rally. Watch this and tell me what you think.
Not only was out in Iowa, he also, Ron DeSantis, seems to be reacting to and changing a bit as it goes with his critics, saying he's not engaging enough, he's not glad-handing, he's not looking people in the eye the way that Iowa voters, New Hampshire voters have an expectation of their candidates.
Yeah, and he did a great job with that yesterday in Iowa. Rolled out a bunch of endorsements, had a good day. Donald Trump canceled his event. Some people say it was because of the weather. Other people say it was because he wasn't able to draw a big crowd. I don't know what the truth is, but there's some evidence for that theory. I thought DeSantis...
But there's evidence for that theory. Look, I don't believe that Scott Jennings is courageous enough to take such a bold stance unless there really is some evidence for this. I don't know what it is. I do know there's also evidence of Ron DeSantis being colossally, historically, monumentally unlikable. As Scott Jennings just mentioned, he has a problem, or maybe it was Dana Bash, he has a problem or a difficulty actually looking people in the eye when he talks to them. He is an awkward doofus. And look, you could say a lot about Donald Trump. I have in the past. He doesn't have that problem. So it seems to me kind of a mixed message here about whether or not Donald Trump would cancel his event. I mean, he is certainly thin-skinned and cowardly enough to do it because of the optics. He doesn't want to look like his rally didn't do well. But what is going on in Republican circles that they are now floating these things out there when they also know, well, listen, they know full well, probably better than anybody, the limitations of their candidates. The problem lies in that they also know the limitations of the intelligence of their voter base. These people who want to believe so badly the things that they believe that they will suspend logic and reason to believe them. They will believe anything that's fed to them, including that Ron DeSantis is a likable character who's not awkward at all around people, and that Donald Trump is some kind of a messianic figure in American politics to save America, who will put America first, even though for his entire life he has made merch with his name slapped all over it that's not even made in the United States. His campaign gear not made in the United States. His ties and his crappy suits and everything else not made here. But they want to believe it. Again, they want to believe him to be a mighty Christian man. They want him to be the thing that he is absolutely not. And now, Ron DeSantis is taking that role. They want him to be something that he just cannot be. Likable, charismatic, not a fascist. So tell me what you know, Scott Jennings. I'd love to know. I'd also love to know what you think. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can absolutely email me, daily@dollemore.com. If you appreciate what I do and you want to help support what I do, help produce my videos as well as my podcast, all of it is in under one umbrella. You can go to patreon.com/I Doubt It podcast. That's the best way, first and foremost. The other way, if you want to stay within the ecosystem of YouTube, click the join button below my videos, become a channel member, and for $2 a month, you can help support. You can also do the super thanks thing. I think there's a button below for that. All of these are viable ways to help support. That is, if you're not on a fixed income, if you're not having to budget it in, if it's something easy and disposable for you, I would invite you to do so. If that's not your situation, do not financially support me. There are all kinds of other ways to do. You can like a video, you can comment on the video, you can share it with your social media on Facebook or Twitter or whatever you do. All these ways are great ways to support the work and the message and everything else. Anyway, I love you guys. I appreciate you so much. I'll see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.